Okay. I want to take it back. I want to roll back. I got ahead of my skis and I fell. I fell on the ski jump. I'm going to dust myself off and say the Heritage win didn't get enough respect.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. RBC Heritage picks, preview, one and done, breaking down the entire field with Geoff Fienberg. But Jeffrey, before we jump into it, I got some money to give away to people. That's always exciting.
Free money.
Free money. So I asked people to rate and review and sub to the channel. I'm still asking you to do all those things. But for the Masters, I said I was giving away $1,000 in cash. 5 winners, $200 a piece. Here are the winners of the RBC Heritage at 80J Mart, at Brolofson, at SHMIBBS, JYK644, and at SJWilso13. That could be Wilson. I may have written that down wrong, but I will reach out to all of you. 2 of them are YouTube guys, so at the PME on Twitter or Instagram, hit me up, or at Mayo Media Inc. at gmail.com. You can get your prize there. I'll DM the other 3 of you from Twitter who are the winners. It's nice to have a listen. I ended up winning at the Masters. I lost all of the outright bets that I made, all the stupid bets that I made. But Justin Rose, first round leader, Jeff, covered the entire week, which is always glorious.
Isn't that lovely? I lost money. Thank God for Patrick Reed top live and Corey Connors top Canadian though.
Yeah, the Connors was a runaway. I was so wrong on that. There's so much I was wrong about the Masters. But that's the one thing about golf betting. Sometimes you just need to get one thing right and everything else wrong, and it all works out okay.
Problem with listen, there's not a lot of opportunities in terms of betting outrights at the Masters to bet a little, win a lot. So it's only going to come from the prop markets.
And yeah, and we were able to hit that one. I guess in retrospect, we talked through the entire thing. It's like, yeah, the guys who fit all the trends and the studs who end up winning ended up winning. If you missed the Masters recap show, it's already out on the video feed and the podcast feed right now. And of note, we are not doing a show next week, Jeff.
What's the tournament?
Zurich.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, makes sense. I feel like that's not the first time we've skipped the Zurich.
I believe I go on vacation for the Zurich every single week or every single year. This is like when I take a little bit of a reprieve. I do it for
are Rory and Lowry going to go still, you think?
Rory's already WD'd. Rory and Lowry at the Zurich. I was going to say at Heritage, Rory's already gone.
Yeah, that seemed pretty obvious. I didn't even make it to the first iterations of the odds board. He let them know quickly, I guess. But do you think he's going to fulfill that commitment to New Orleans with Shano?
Yeah, as defending champ? I have no idea. Honestly, probably not, if I had to guess.
I actually think they will.
Well, I know he's going back to Hollywood this week. He mentioned that in his post-round interview that he's going to go see his mom and dad in Northern Ireland. Like, that's Augusta to Northern Ireland back to New Orleans is quite a trek for a guy who just won the. He might be hungover still in 2 weeks.
Oh, they're not playing to win, and they could be a fade, but they're just gonna live it. They're just gonna live it up in a great city. I think. I think I don't even know if they've committed to this year, like at all, for him to decommit for this year. But I think those 2 pals are gonna just be wasted and try to defend.
Well, I guess hit me up with your winner in the comment section. That's always fun. But if anyone has a good restaurant, I'm doing a bunch of stays in one night across Europe. We're just taking the train around, going city to city. So if you have any recommendations for Brussels, for Antwerp, for Bruges, or Frankfurt, or Amsterdam, just one place. I need to have like 8 places. I'm not going to be there that long. See, the one place that you recommend in one of those cities, you give me the city, you give me the restaurant, and I'm going to go check them out. I'm hoping my wife and I can hit up some nice spots.
I don't have any advice for you, but I was talking to Tim. And he suggested Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hoot with an umlaut on the top? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Maybe we'll grab like if we're just because we're doing because we did the resort type of vacation earlier this year, right after football ended, and that's not really my wife and I's jam. It was fun to just go chill for 7 days, although I ended up getting sick, so that was no fun. Now we're back to our more steady vacation of go, 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 go the entire time. Like we're showing up to cities for 1 day, we're walking across the city and doing as much as we can in that 1 day. It's gonna be a blast.
Have a beautiful time. What tournament are we back for?
We will be back for the Byron Nelson.
Okay. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot. I could know these things. How many until the PGA do we have?
We have Heritage, Zurich, Byron Nelson, and then the PGA champ. No, then former Quail Hollow, the Truist.
Okay. And where are they going to play that this year?
That is at the Philadelphia Country Club, I think. The one where like Blickel won the Pennsylvania Am is where they're playing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was the crossover. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. I'll be hitting up Blickel that week.
Yeah, I think Blickel, I think Blickel's coming on that week to talk about the course.
Of course. And Pat, I don't know if we ever got the answer. We kind of just like joked about it for a moment. Live April 25th, Mexico City, May 2nd, Korea.
Okay. Interesting. And then they're coming back stateside to play the PGA Championship, and then they'll be in DC after that on June 6th. So there's only 3 live tournaments over the next 3 months at this point. I was wondering why Cust was all in on Chapultepec, and this makes way more sense now because that's where they're playing the live event. Fun course, though. I very much enjoyed it when they had the WGC Mexico there.
Yeah, a lot of
Sharma.
Phil and Tiger, Sharma. Tiger, some great iconic Tiger shots from that bunker in the pink top where turn the ball in. Yeah, that's all. I guess we're talking the schedule. Figured I'd see what Liv was up to before the PGA.
I mean, that's always a smart thing to do, to see what everyone is doing for that. There's also a huge underdog promo going on right now, and I'll have more on this tomorrow. Jeff, do you know what I'm doing tomorrow on the PME?
If it's proprietary info, I don't have it.
You do not. I'm doing an full NBA playoff preview show. I got Lindquist, I got Dinkmeyer. They're coming on. They're telling me about everything, what I need to do. And Underdog is running this amazing promo for every game that is as long as you start playing on Underdog in game 1 of a series, for every game that the series is extended, then the boosts get larger for each of the games. So if you get to a game 7 and you've been playing Underdog plays for games 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, for every progressive game, your profit boost gets bigger for the entire time, which is a really cool promo. So if use code Mayo at Underdog right now, you get your deposit up to deposit bonus of up to $1,000, and then all of a sudden you're off to the races. And I'm through one tournament of the Masters for the Scramble redraft. I'm doing fantastic.
There it is. And I mean, I don't give a shit about the NBA, but the playoffs rock. I was just laughing because I could have had 5 guesses. I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but does that mean you're doing? Oh, you're going to be away. I was going to say, does that mean there's an NHL playoff preview coming too?
I had a full, I had the guests lined up. I had the day lined up, but I got my days wrong. Hockey lasts a day too long because Jared, it's Thursday when everything is going to end up being set for the seedings. I didn't want to do it until all the seedings were set.
Yeah, there's 3 games
of course.
in the season.
Yeah.
For basically everybody. 2 to 3 games left.
So yeah, it'd be a really stupid show. I'd be like, well, here's the first round series that I don't know the answer to. I guess technically we don't have that for the NBA because the play-in is still going on, but we know 6 of the 8 series, and we can probably make a pretty good guess. The only team that throws a wrench into it is really the Warriors, who, if they just end up with the 7 seed, it's super easy to talk about anyway, and they probably should end up with the 7 seed and take on the Rockets in the first round. I'm just excited to be talking to Eric and Dink. I haven't talked to those guys in ages, and it's good to have 2 very sharp people about the NBA on to talk about this stuff.
Big fan of both. Obviously not in the basketball orbit, but I remember all the time you and Dink would yuck it up over on Fantasy Today and stuff.
Yeah, and here we are. And Dink hasn't been on the show in ages. And I don't know if Eric's ever been on, just people that I DM with and am fans of. So it's nice to have a topic that I don't know a ton about. I know enough about basketball, but they know. So I think that's going to be an awesome show. That'll be out on Tuesday. Obviously, Tambo on Wednesday. Might call it quits for the week because I leave on Wednesday evening, but I'll have a full Veep 2.0 mock draft, Jeff, with Ray and Thor next week as the big new show. We got a new Cust Corner coming out. We got some best of, so stick around on the show. Just always turn on those auto downloads and help us out that way. I believe we touched on this a little bit on the Masters recap show, but I'm just really bummed out about the RBC Heritage. Just there's no need for this to be an elevated event. It's not the right. I don't mind an elevated event a week before, a week after a major. That's not that big of a problem for me. It's just this tournament in particular I loved so much that I never thought it had to be an elevated event. And that's what sucks about it to me.
You know, this was just the happenstance of Live. And in the end, the top guys got together and they don't like to play a ton per se, but they figured, like, why spread them out? We're playing, like, let's just keep playing. You know, Rory, I believe, was the champion of this. Funny enough, he's missed 2 of them because he bailed on the Travelers the week after gas canning the U.S. Open, and then he wins the major. He bails on this. He's entitled to do whatever he wants. I'm just saying, like, I believe the architect of the system has found ways to, like, not even want to take part. But they're playing. Yeah, they want to play, and then they want some time off, and then they'll play right before the PGA. And I think the way the summer sets up with the majors stacked, I just think that is the byproduct of all of it. And this was one of the concessions the tour made to the superstars in the heat of the Live battle.
I think that makes sense. One of the strategy pieces that I talked about with those rest of the season drafts was there's only 4 tournaments that you can get into. And one of them was the Masters, 2 of them are signature events, and the other one was the Byron Nelson. So you kind of had to load up on guys who played in like the optimal people to pick, at least to escape round 1, would be get in on these players right now who are going to play in all of these events and the Byron Nelson. There's only a few of them in the field who are actually going to do that, with Scotty being number 1 of that list, who's the favorite this week as well. Shout out to our friends at CoolBet. You can still get in on the Canadian Open giveaway. 1 more week of that. If you live in Canada but not Ontario, go sign up for CoolBet right now. Our odds are powered by CoolBet.com. And if you just opt in to the PME giveaway, for every $10 that you bet on the Heritage, you get a ballot in the draw for a free trip to come see us in Toronto, which tickets are on sale right now, Jeff. They're down in the description. They are going fast. If you want a ticket, then I would suggest that you go do it. And as I pointed out on the Heritage Research Show, there's a lot of people going by themselves to this. So don't feel like you're a weirdo for going by yourself to a live podcast. I've gone to a bunch of live podcasts by myself. You always just hanging up, you meet some new people there, like whatever. Like it's a community of people who like what you like. You're gonna find people you know.
Yeah, and I totally get how, like, I have friends that, like, I would have, like, no interest in some of the podcasts I listen to. Yeah, I almost think you're just coming to a PME like Comic-Con for an afternoon.
Yeah, come dressed as Tim's favorite impression. Come dressed as Lucille Ball.
So I get how, like, you have people in your inner circle in your life who aren't like-minded into this PME experience, but hey, you come and there will be other people who you can make fun, or I didn't mean it like that, but who you can make fun of Mia, like together, I mean, or Tim, or Pat, or Cam, or Rob, right? So think of it like you're going to a convention for work, except it's not work. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the Canadian Open is going on. The Jays are playing on the Thursday if you want to get in early. Kenny's just flying up to be a part of it. So a lot of the PME regulars that you know from Mayo Media Network are all going to be there. So I would suggest checking it out. And I think it's now 74% of the tickets are already gone. So if you do want to get one, suggest that you get in now.
Good.
All right.
Buy them now. My wife keeps talking about buying. She's talking to my uncle and my dad, and I'm like, you shut up. Like, I do not want these people there. So guys, buy all the tickets. Buy them quickly so there's none left for people in my family.
My wife is traveling with me to go see it as well. And I was like, man, do I want my wife there for this live show? It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know if I care about, like, my wife being there. She'd probably just, like, get bored, and there's, like, kind of a lot to do in the area. Not that that's a selling point for you guys to get up and leave, but yeah, she's offering it to my uncles and my cousins, and you could see their interest, like, peak, because in some ways they're, like, still don't really understand what the hell I do in some respects. So just, like, the sheer fascination of seeing a group of men in Titleist hats Being fascinated with me intrigues them. But other than that, I don't want, they're not coming. I don't want them there. So you guys buy the tickets.
There we are. So you can hit the link down in the description right now. RBC Heritage, as mentioned, powered by CoolBet, getting in that contest. That really helps us out. Top of the board is the defending champion. Scotty Scheffler is plus 360 to win this tournament. Morikawa, Ludwig, and Xander are all in at 12. JT's in at 15. Cantlay is in at 17. Henley, 23, coming off the missed cut. Shane Lowry, coming off the worst round I can ever remember him playing, is 24-1. And then you got Corey Connors. 30-1 is 9th on the betting board before we start getting to everyone else. These are the top odds. I mean, I'm not going to bet Scotty at plus 360, even though he probably wins this tournament. Is there anyone that jumped out to you? Because I do like Cantlay or Xander, I think.
Dude. Okay, so we're going to make a decision there. Cantlay 17, 18, Xander, I think the biggest I've seen is 14. That's what I've been looking at. If people want to include JT in that, they can. I won't be. And it's also an elevated event where I feel like I bet elevated events a specific way. I get there like in a different world. There's other guys in the field and there's an opportunity for something, you know, but not elevated. I'm not changing how I'm going to bet an elevated event. If anything, I'd like to bet less after such having so many bets in. And even though I lost money, there's money in the account because it's not like I lost every bet and I had a couple nice ones as we've spoken about hitting. But that's like fake money. That's like Cam after like losing at the horses for 7 straight days and hitting a winner. Like, yeah, there's money in there, but like, it's not profit. I assure you that. So going to hopefully be responsible, but come Wednesday, I won't have been.
Look, a 40-1 at the Heritage is the same as a 40-1 at Corrales, as it's the same as the Masters, as any tournament. Although we overbet the Masters every single year, the odds remain the same, and you can bet exactly the same amount if you'd like.
Yeah, I overbet the Super Bowl. I could bet any game of the year like a lunatic. Like, right? So I don't know. Tentpole events, my weakness. Like, it's just a weakness. I don't have hobbies. Major championship golf, I'd probably say is a hobby. My biggest. So there, hobbies can get away from you, and you just hope not to lose every bet. Scotty's win here last year, Pat, I'd argue more impressive than his win at the Masters.
Please go into more detail on that.
Winning the week after winning the Masters was like, when he won the like, you should be with, okay, it doesn't mean more. I was like going into the week of the Masters, I was more confident that Scotty would win the Masters than the next day when we recorded the show in Vegas, being like, I think Scotty has less of a chance to win this event than he did the event the week before, just based off winning the Masters and maybe being exhausted, and then he like dummies people. So it was like literally, I don't think it gets, okay. I want to take it back. I want to roll back. I got ahead of my skis and I fell. I fell on the ski jump. But I'm going to dust myself off and say the Heritage win didn't get enough respect. It's like an insane accomplishment to me to win the tournament the week after winning the Masters. I know that might not seem like much, but in my stupid brain, that's like, holy shit, man.
Sure, it's fine. I think that kind of speaks to Scotty in a weird way, that especially during the run of last year, that it didn't seem like his game peaked just because it was a major championship and that he took it more seriously. He was just being Scotty Scheffler every tournament and dummying people.
Yeah, and last year people like wilting at his like sheer existence, right? Like easiest holes on course, par 5s, short par 4s. We're gonna like play them in 1 over in the final 3 holes. Oh, no, we let Scotty Scheffler come and win. Okay, thanks. Feels imminent, but I'm not betting like a without Scotty market. Like I don't do that. I haven't done it once this year. Kind of like I said going into the beginning, he's got to stab me in the heart first before I'm gonna like at least have any thought of playing markets without him.
Additionally, this is a course that It should. It's not to say the top guys can't win. We just saw Scheffler, the number one player, win it a year ago. But this tends historically to be a course that is a bit more open to some guys in the mid-range and the back, and especially for comeback wins. It's been less prevalent for the past 5 years. The third-round leader has gone on to win. But this used to be long shots galore.
I mean, the setup was conducive to it, but you alluded to it. Like, once you put the best players in the world on this field, like, the old profile doesn't blow it the fuck up. Like, you'll do the show with Tambo, and those are great for filling your lineups and having great finishes and mixing, but in betting outrights, the old profile means shit to me.
I do think, like, your Aaron Rise and Bud Collies and Brian Harmons are... They basically take the place of Satoshi Kodaira in this field, that they're not 300 to 1, they're 75, 80 to 1, whatever that might be. But I do think that they're as live to win this tournament versus all of the studs than almost any other of the signature events or majors.
I have to concede that to you.
Like, Travelers would be the same way, and Scotty won that one too. He just won everything.
And I think in like 8 years, Kurt Kitayama will be like the lone outlier at Bay Hill.
I mean, Henley just won.
I guess.
Like, this should really be a really good Russell Henley course too, and he got the weekend off to rest.
Yeah, I'm not fazed by weekend off, but also I think so few guys mixed, like you said, like we've already discussed on our Masters show, and like half of the guys that actually mixed last week were on live, so. I'm not like worried about getting your ass kicked at the Masters, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I'm betting anyone that missed the cut just based on like who I've been swimming around on my sheet here, but that wouldn't be enough to scare me. Actually, I am. Yeah, there's a guy right here. I'm sure he'll be very popular because he was popular last week. Fucked a lot of us.
Oh, who is it? Straka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I'm seeing Straka 50, 55, something I'm swimming around. Maybe I overrate the guy. I'm not sure. So that's a work in progress.
Well, again, it's outright betting. Like, do you think that if he gets in the mix that he has a chance to win? He's won at courses that are similar to this, so why not? He still needs that big win. He doesn't have one yet. That getting maybe as a launching point into being more competitive in all the signature events, in the major championships. I know he does have a T2 at the Open from 2 years ago when Harman won, but he was never seriously in that tournament either. There was just a bunch of guys who finished 6 shots behind Brian Harman. He happened to be in that group of 5 or 6, whoever it was. It was like Day, him, Rose. No, it wasn't Rose. Rose was last year. Rom ended up getting up there to T2, whatever it might be. I do think that there is a difference between a backdoor, very high spot on the leaderboard and someone who actually contended to be in the tournament the entire time. When we take a look back at the Masters in a few years, we'll forget, like, hey, Xander played really well. Like, Xander didn't have a chance to win at the Masters last week. He just finished inside the top 10. Same as Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson didn't really contend to win the Masters. He did come T8, though.
So let's just, I know we've already done a Masters look, but who would be those players like Ludwig and Victor? Like, who are the players that haven't won majors that have like, you would say I've significantly mixed enough to count as truly tasting smoke? Victor, Ludwig, Tommy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It was a
Tommy,
while ago, but
Tommy has enough
counts.
near the top that I would give it
Connor's
to him.
at that PGA Championship and some Masters. Like, I guess we could give it to him. Even if it
Has
feels
Connors
unlikely.
ever played well on a Sunday? Well, like sniffing contention at a major?
I don't know. Probably not.
'Cause
I don't. Wasn't
he-
there the one? Or that was Saturday at the PGA with
When he put it in the lip.
Brooks and Victor.
Yeah, he put it in the lip when he was in contention.
No,
That
you're
was the end
right.
of it.
Sundays have just been a total shit show.
Cantlay isn't there right now, but he's been around long enough and has those results that
Last year's U.S. Open, a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few of them that it's happened. I mean, Hatton would be another one, but obviously he's not in the field. He's back to live now, but he's.
I'm
another-
being an idiot, but which major? I mean, I know this week through the first 2 days, but which major did Hatton like truly taste? Has he ever tasted a Sunday smoke?
I thought that he was there. Was it 3 years ago in the Open? I feel like there was an Open where he was there, but maybe I'm dead wrong. He might be that guy that's the thing. Like, when you start getting back so many years, and then all you remember are results, because you remember who wins and you remember who they played with, kind of. But once 4 years pass, and you're like, oh man, he came T4, And you forget he was never actually in the tournament. He just had a nice Sunday.
Happens a lot.
I mean, it happened to Rory a ton too. Like the year that he came second to Scotty at the Masters. Was it Scotty? Yeah, the year that Scotty...
Yeah, the bunker, him
Yeah.
and Morikawa hit the back-to-back bunkers, yeah.
Yeah, he came in second. So in like when you go back and like look at the Wikipedia page with like the yellow number, and he has the number 2, and you look at the leaderboard, it's like, man, what a duel it must have been between Rory and Scotty. It's like, no, Rory wasn't in that tournament.
Yeah. It's all true, but you're right. When we get to major weeks, or even weeks of regular tournaments, those results just sort of live by the numbers. It's hard to nuance them, to be honest.
I know you have no personal love for Morikawa, but I always thought this was a course where Morikawa would win.
Absolutely. I mean, holy shit. These guys with their win droughts, it feels like a great course for both of them. Cantlay, Morikawa, less so Justin, but absolutely. If you told me you're betting Morikawa this week at 12, I'd say that sounds like a much better bet than last week.
I would tend to agree. Do you think that one of these guys gets the monkey off their back right now? Because what's happening, and we kind of overlooked it a little bit, was these guys ended up with so many second place finishes to Scotty because Scotty was winning every event that these guys were playing. It's not like they're playing a full schedule, playing every single week. Scotty's actually playing more than Morikawa is on a week-to-week basis. Basically, every tournament that Morikawa has played in this year, Rory has won. And then he lost to Henley.
I mean, listen, this is a conversation I feel like we've joked about with, Tommy a lot or some other players, but there's too much of a sense of pride that they don't just go like chase wins at like the shit events. They're worthy of these elevated events and they keep their elite schedule. They're not like looking to go... They're not looking to like add Detroit to the field just to go win a trophy, like just to get a monkey off their back. But us golf fans are like, don't you want to just go to Detroit and get a monkey off your back?
That's the way that I would be thinking about it. Did Hideki WD from this tournament too? I don't see him on the betting sheet. Yeah, I mean, he's out too. Great, good. No Rory.
What a crazy! I mean, it's a statistical marvel last week.
I watched all of his Saturday round because he was in the featured group, and he was so bad on Saturday. It was unbelievable considering how well he played every other round.
So is there anyone from the top who we just don't want? Are we going to say like Ludwig again? Just cuz? And like obviously Corey, because he doesn't bring enough winning equity, and he probably had a longer week. Like I'd rather bet Russell Henley than Corey, even though I like Corey a lot more. I don't really want to go to guys that I feel like days felt so much longer last week, if that makes any sense.
Well, let's just see. Lowry is 24, Henley's 23, Connors is 24 or 30. Like Connors has been bet down already. In the time that we've started this show, he's gone from 30 to 24, which is kind of insane. But I don't know. Do you feel good about any of those guys? Or would you rather just bet Cantlay, who is probably in exactly the same boat as a guy who can't win for like 7 points less, but feel better about it because he comes T3 at this tournament every year?
Yeah, I'd be betting Cantlay, accepting the loss, but it's almost like just playing it safe. Like, I'll get a Sunday sweat out of it, so maybe I should just bet Cantlay. I don't think I'll have any part of those of the Connors Lowry. I could be forgetting someone part there. Just it's harder picking guys hard, and it's so hard. And sometimes I need a reason to not pick a guy, and maybe this could be a good fake reason to just put some red ink through some guys under 30-1.
I mean, if we follow betting logic, Shane Lowry wins this week because I bet him last week, a ton of people bet him last week, and now no one is even thinking about betting him after that bad Sunday.
You're probably right. And I like this course for Shane Lowry.
Yeah. He's been bad here the past 2 years after almost winning it the 2 years previous to that. He was 9th and he was 3rd and had some bad Sundays. I remember he chipped into the water on I think 14's the long par 3. He put it long and then chipped it over the green into the water and just destroyed all of his chances. I think that was the year Spieth won, beat Cantlay in the playoff.
And if Shane Lowry did happen to win this week, Pat, it wouldn't really have to do with his like truly impressive lead in form and quality of play for months. It would be the inspiration of seeing the media would tell you, CBS will tell us it'll be the inspiration of having just watched his friend complete the Grand Slam that gave Shane Lowry the power to win the next week. Nothing to do with his like great lead in form though.
Let's go to this next range, the 30 to 60, because I think this one's pretty interesting. Once again,
Let's go.
all the numbers up at coolbet.com right now. Opt into the PME, Canadian Open experience to win a free trip to Toronto to come see the live show, plus Jays tickets, Canadian Open tickets, airfare, and hotels. So if you have someone in your life that bets on golf, you might as well just bet on golf at CoolBet and potentially win this giveaway. All the details are down in the comment section and the description of this podcast right now if you want to go check those out and share it around. Tommy is the next one up. He's 32 to 1. Victor is right after him as well. He is, 32 to 1. Spieth and Sungjae. Sungjae coming off the T5 at the Masters. They're both 35. Day, Straka, and Berger are all 45 to 1. You got Bobby Mack at 50. Mav, Denny, and Minwoo Lee, they're all at 55 to 1. Poston's at 55, Wyndham Clark's at 55. All of these guys are in that same sort of region. Did anyone stick out to you right away? Because I think that Berger is going to be a very popular bet. I know you had mentioned Straka before.
Yeah, Berger's. I bet Berger. That's the bet I've actually made. I don't know. Sure, it's going to be popular when I'm like sitting on the can at 6:30. I don't know how popular it's going to be. I think. I mean, listen, my heart like calls to like maybe want to try Tommy here, but I think Victor might be a prudent play. I think the number seems fair. Seemed like he struck the ball quite lovely around the Masters, although sometimes it can be hard to truly quantify. The number just like even with the win, he's just getting no respect. And just like a lot of guys that I like trust less ahead of him. I feel like once some sites post their enhanced numbers, it'll even boost up the 32s that I'm seeing that are available to me right now. So at the moment, I'm getting cocky and just waiting for Victor to get even a little bit bigger. And I think that's one I probably want to bet.
I am circling around some other names here. I don't mind Day. I was kind of with you on Berger. I got to think about that. I got to think about Straka a little bit. I was just going to go back to Bobby Mack. Guy got some good rest on the weekend. Had a bad tournament. Lost 5 strokes putting in 2 rounds. Couldn't really hit his approach shots. Just had a bad go of it at the Masters. But it's almost like you just talked about with Lowry. There's a reason that we liked all these guys coming into it. It was they had very good recent form. They were trending upwards. And these are the two sorts of, when you think about both of Bobby's wins last year, that don't they kind of resemble this course? Hamilton and the Scottish Open?
My perception was going to say that for sure. I mean, I'm sure there's like harder course comp analysis that could be more accurate, but on first instinct, like Heritage Hamilton link right away to me.
So maybe he's the place, 50 to 1. I just lost. Basically, this is what he got bet down to at the Masters last week. Now you got him at the Heritage at a better course against a weaker field.
I would argue probably a better course fit. And again, the miscut doesn't bother me. I mean, I know like when you're trying to, if you want to bet a guy, you can like make a case or not make a case or let things affect or not affect. Like you choose your own adventure on that. I usually don't let like major championship ass kickings like hold me back from wanting to get on a guy if he was playing well before that.
The major championship ass kicking would worry me for the other majors, not so much this.
But I don't know if guys like went to Pinehurst and got the shit kicked out of them. Like that didn't like, I don't know. I could have, I'm easily an apologist for that when like wanting to bet them 2 or 3 weeks later, like looking at the season board.
Okay. Well, it does seem like we're in this range. You like Victor. I like Bobby Mack. We both seem to like Straka. And I'm just shocked Jason Day had never won this. He used to play this tournament every year against the weak fields, and he'd be the overwhelming favorite. He'd almost win, and then he just wouldn't win. Maybe now it's time to flip that back a little bit, where he's no longer the overwhelming favorite, but might have more experience at this course than anyone.
Yeah, I remember those days where Day would go off pretty much in a tier unto himself at this place, and then he'd get nipped by your Koreans or Kisner.
Now, Kisner never won here. Kisner got nipped
Furyk.
Got nipped by Furyk in the playoff.
Remember, that was one of those early coverage playoffs I was listening to on radio while TV was like 3 hours behind.
You always you do have to watch out for the weather at Harbour Town, always, because it'll pop up out of nowhere and just it's a completely different course. Like, you're not getting to minus 19 when there's bad weather. The winning score is like minus 8.
For a never winner,
do you remember when CT Pan ran down Dustin here?
CT Pan ran down Dustin.
Like, Dustin, I think, was up 2 or 3 going into the final round, and just Pan came back and beat him.
Nope. I remember he outdueled Pan and then won by a lot at Glen Abbey once, but that's about it. How was Tommy played here before? Not great. You think the course would work for Tommy if he could ever win?
You think most of these courses would work for Tommy if he could ever win?
And you know what? I know you're just trying to be a wise guy. There's no proof in the pudding that Tommy Fleetwood is the Ricky Fowler of major championship greenside.
He is. If a Euro guy wins, it's Tommy. If an American guy wins, somehow Ricky will still pop up and give him a hug after they win.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, if someone on Europe Ryder Cup is gonna win, Tommy will be there. But I saw in the rush of all of it, Rory give Frankie a smile and rub his head even before he got to Tommy. That was it's just great scenes. But yeah, you're right. Highly probable Tommy minus $1 trillion. He will greet at least 3 more players before he even contends again in one of these suckers. I'm not betting Tommy. I'd rather bet Victor for a couple more points in the same range. But I'm not going to go too deep today because it's elevated, and I don't care.
Outdoor golf season is almost here, but is your swing ready? With 126 X-Golf locations across 38 states, it's never been easier to dial in your swing year-round. I can speak to this. Go into the simulators all winter long, especially the good ones. You can go to crappy simulators. You don't want to go there. You want to go to X-Golf and really prep your game and hit the season firing. X-Golf's state-of-the-art simulators let you play full rounds, tee to green with unmatched short game realism. X-Golf's Auto Tee system ensures you're always ready to bomb a drive. No delays or automatic 2-putts, just real, competitive golf in a lively sports bar environment. Love a little competition? X-Golf's handicap leagues and tournaments give every golfer a shot at winning incredible prizes. Upcoming spring tournaments include the Majors, where you could win a beach or mountain vacation, or the Cinco de Mayo Scramble, win a trip to New Belgium Brewery in Asheville, and that is just the start. So visit playxgolf.com to find your nearest X-Golf and book your tee time today. Again, trust me on this, you're going to want to go to X-Golf, so visit playxgolf.com. Fellas, your wife is already probably pretty familiar with Skims. I know my wife was when I got my Skims in the mail. They're like, "What, did you get me something from Skims?" I'm like, "No, got it for myself," because they're big into men's underwear right now. I've already mentioned that I used to wear boxer shorts, like the bunchy ones, make you look like you have like fupas on the go at all time. You don't want those. We're in 2025. You want some nice stretchy shorts because you're probably an active guy, and even if you aren't, you just want the most comfortable version of underwear that you want, and that is why you need to go to Skims and get their underwear right now. It is the most comfortable pair of underwear I've ever worn. As I mentioned before, like I said, it's like you're wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Even though I wear underwear every day, I had not switched to the underwear that was right for me. And now I can wear them to bed, I can wear them working out, I can wear them playing golf, and I can wear them while I'm doing this show and reading this ad to you. That's why I love the Stretch briefs. Those are the ones that I like the best. Now, you can get the 3-inch boxer brief if you're a traveler and you go around. Like, those are really good too, but I love the stretch briefs. Those are the ones I'm wearing 24/7 these days. Not the same pair, mind you. I do wash them, but I bought so many that I just have it in my entire wardrobe right now. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com and any Skims store. Let them know that I sent you as well. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select my show in the drop-down menu that follows, Pat Mayo Experience, in case you don't know what you're listening to. Skims is the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball. Skims.com. Is your hair thinning? You might want to do something about that. That's why I recommend Nutrafol. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men that are tailored to different life stages, such as a plant-based lifestyle, so you can get exactly what you need and customize it to yourself. Building hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required, automated deliveries, and free shipping keep you on track. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code PATMAYO. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code PATMAYO. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code PATMAYO. Well, let's talk about the 60 to 100 range. I do like Justin Rose is 75 to 1. Why not? Like, he didn't see. I know it was taxing on him. It went to the playoff, but this is a great course for him.
I had like a corny joke, I like to fade guys off playoffs and NFL, right? Off overtime, fade golfers off overtime. That was a bad joke. There's a couple guys in this range that I don't mind. You'd rather take the guy who finished second. I'd rather take the guy who finished last in like Batya at 70 than Rose.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. That's where my money would probably end up going, but it's not crazy to think about. Like, all of these guys, like, this could be. I think these guys are super live. That's what I like about this course, that like you could see how Akshay wins. You could see how Rose wins. I mean, Herman just won. You could see how he wins. Even someone like Ben Ann and Bud Colley comes in probably the best form of anyone to this tournament. He's 75 to 1.
Totally. Like there's money to be made with a lot of these guys, and absolutely you could see how it plays. Even like you mentioned earlier, Aaron Rai, even Michael Kim.
Yeah.
Totally. This profile like can absolutely mix on this course. I assume you would play anyone back here with placings at these numbers.
I don't know, because I'm looking at the enhanced number. So like the cool bet number being like 75 or 80. If I was going to play it with placings and it was like a top 8 placing, all of a sudden I'm betting these guys at 50 to 1 with 8 places, not 80 to 1 with 8 places. I'd probably just, instead of doubling down on whatever bet that is, I think I'd rather just take 3 of these guys to win and hope to get lucky. Like
Fair enough. That's,
when you
that's
think about
the mental war.
It's not mental warfare. You got to think about it in terms of what the amount of money you're actually betting. If I could grab all these guys 80 to 1, yes, I would play the placings on them. That's not how the placing market works.
Of course not. But again, it's just like you have that like internal like fight with yourself as to how you want to do it.
Sure.
That's all.
No, I'm with you on that. So outside of those, like you even mentioned Michael Kim and Aaron Rai, I think Rai is going to get my money. I could see Cully getting my money. And then after that, Finau's 90 to 1. It's crazy.
What's Hoagie?
Hoagie's also 90 to 1.
I don't know if he can win, but the guy has just been like striping it, I feel.
He has. That's most definitely true, but he's hurt my feelings so much over the past year as someone who constantly bets on him in the most I mean, I talked about it on each of the past 2 shows, but him not coming in top 5 of this tournament because he made a 9 on the final par 4 after the restart on Monday was just devastating stuff. I was actually taking a look at Lucas Glover at 100-1. He had a really bad first round at the Masters. Straka as well, and Henley. Like, all 3 of those guys had a really nice round 2. Now, Straka gagged it on 18, but it was still overall a very good round. Glover, it's not like he rallied, but just I think he lost 5 strokes putting in round 1 at the Masters. And there's such a big Wyndham Championship correlation to this course. That's why I like Rye and Glover. And there's one guy I bet way down the board, but that's for 5 minutes from now. But Glover has been playing some good golf coming in. He just did well at the Players. If he can make some putts here, I think he's live.
You can make a case for a lot of those guys. Glover fits right in. I mean, Will Zalatoris 80-1.
Yeah,
I don't have a case to make for him like you could for Glover or Bud Cauley, but if people were betting him last week at 60, they bet him at the Heritage at 80. Like, you think about it.
Has Homa rebounded? Is Homa back in your sights now?
Not for a win. That was one of the nice, enjoyable parts of last week, was seeing like Homa smiling on a golf course. It's been cringy watching him golf, even as he's been included in like featured groups for the first 2 months of the year. Makes it worse.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be. I mean, that was probably the biggest nitpick about the Masters, that Bryson wasn't in one of the featured groups on Friday, so no one could really watch him. But it came down to they weren't not going to put Rose in a featured group because he was winning the tournament, and Homa happened to be in his group. Did you see when he hit the guy at the course? That was hilarious.
Oh, I didn't. I was actually late to seeing it. By the time I saw it, it was old news. But yeah, it was a good laugh. I'd have dropped like a ton of bricks too. Literally, like my body'd been exploded.
Of the guys who are 100-1 and beyond, odds that stuck out to me that are just weirdly interesting. Mac Hughes is 140-1. Nick Taylor's 175-1. Make that make sense to me. Not that Nick Taylor shouldn't be 175-1, but why does Mac Hughes have better odds than Nick Taylor to win this tournament?
There's no answer for me to give there. None whatsoever. If I was forced into this range, like Paul's boy Novak seems like a mixed bag. Maybe I just have the memory of him like being good at the Valero, and that's fresh. I think he finished 3rd or 4th. I will not be making a bet above 100-1.
No, you need to bet Rio Hisatune with me.
You know, he has been a stripe show.
Yeah. And where did he come second? Either 3rd, whatever it was. The Wyndham last year.
I wish I could just bet him at Corrales at 30-1 than here at 150.
I bet him at 175-1 with 8 places. That's where I took the 8 places. I just like how he's playing right now. I like the course fit for him. If there's one thing, Jeff, that have been very good to me at the Heritage in my lifetime, it's long shot Japanese players.
That is everything to you at the Heritage.
Adam Scott is 175-1.
Okay, you might have piqued my interest with that. I didn't even know he was playing, but I guess that makes sense. That he's playing. I obviously missed him on the board here, but I didn't even scroll that far. 175.
That's a big number for Adam Scott. I know he's not playing well, but still.
And everyone wanted to bet Gary off of, was it Houston?
Yeah.
What did he do at Valero?
He made the cut.
Good for Gary being in this field.
For sure. No, he got himself in. The last guy to get in was Kuchar. Kuchar's on a sponsor's exemption. This used to be the Luke Donald Open every year, although it's a tournament he never won, but came inside the top 3, I think, for 9 consecutive years. But Kuchar, did Kuchar win this one, or is this one where he got run down by Matt Jones with that bunker shot?
No, I believe he might have gotten run down by Jones with a bunker, but Kuchar had his own magical bunker shot here at Heritage. Kuchar has won at the Light Tower before. I'm certain of it.
A lot of mid-tier guys who have done really well at the Players Championship over the years, the Wyndham Championship over the years, and even Colonial and RSM. When you start taking like different, like obviously it's in the same part of the world. I mean, this is on Hilton Head Island, RSM's on Sea Island. That there's just a lot of correlation between a lot of these courses and similar guys who do well. Now, a lot of that used to have to do with they all used to have very similar fields. Now, it being a signature event kind of throws that out the window. But I still like to believe that some of these guys have a chance, like they used to.
They can score, they can mix. Makes total sense. And as you say, that correlation, a lot of guys like instantly the names like flood to mind of crossover success at a lot of those events. How many years has this been elevated?
This is I believe it's year number 3. Because I think Fitz beat Spieth in the playoff the first year.
Oh yeah, I had Fitz. That was Spieth missed a couple that day. Thank you.
I think that's what I don't know if it was elevated that year or not.
I think it was. Yeah.
Because the last time, the last non-elevated Heritage is when Spieth beat Cantlay in the play. This tournament goes to a playoff every second year, by the way. Yeah,
you would always say like they should take this week off almost after the Masters. I feel.
But it was like a bye week. Because you'd have like 3 guys who were like somebody would play in it, and then it was everyone else who didn't play in the Masters. But it was still such a cool course and a cool tournament. Like I just visually watching this course on TV, I just love it. It's one of my favorites.
And here's the thing, even like it is early in the week and we're like still, feeling last week and all its magic. To people who aren't us, and I don't just mean us in making content, like the people who are listening to the show and love the golf and spend the first 3 days of the week building a card and thinking about it nonstop, or I don't want to say nonstop, but a lot. But most people, like every week is a bye week until Saturday and Sunday at like 4:00.
Yeah, I think that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right? Like, oh, yeah. Are they playing golf this week? Okay, yeah, it's great. Sunday weekend, 4:00. Okay, I'm going to watch these guys finish this tournament. Great. Oh, it's great names. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. But yeah, no, you have there's some of that 60 to 80 that definitely feels live here, but I'm not making a find me a winner over 100.
All right. Well, I'll finalize everything with Tambo when we go live on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time on Mayo Media Network. Plus, you can get everything you want on the pod feed and on demand after the fact. But for quick picks for this tournament, at least, and we'll talk. I don't even know if Corrales odds are out yet, but I'll go take a look at them. Berger, Straka, McIntyre, probably 2 of those 3 in the 40s and 50s. Rye, Colley, and Rose, Bhatia, probably 2 of those 3. And then I bet on Rio Hisatuni, 175 to 1 with 8 places. That was the first thing that stuck out to me this morning. I was like, that number is too big. And this is a tournament he has a chance at. Oh, Glover. I got to write down Glover. I'm going to bet Glover at 100 to 1 with 8 places too.
Hovland, Berger, gonna swim around Straka, swim around Bhatia, maybe even that Aaron Rye, something else back there, sure. And then, but Berger and Hovland are gonna be in, and I'm gonna make a decision between Xander and Cantlay. I believe I'm gonna be in at the top.
Yeah, I can take like a bunch of these dudes if I don't go to the top. I was kind of with you. I like Berger and Cantlay myself, but if I can't figure out who to do, I'll probably just drop down to this range and bet 2 more guys for way less money.
Figure out one and done.
One and done. Tim is in with the one and done. Tim used Bryson in the one and done last week. He is now in 3rd place. Because you had passed him by having Min Woo 2 weeks ago to take a commanding lead in the one and done. You used Rahm and got 330,000. That's about half of what Bryson got. You remain in 2nd. And then I went from last to 1st because I had Rory. And this week, Cust is taking Vic as his one and done.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you say that earlier?
No, I didn't. I was saving that.
Okay, yeah, just usually I walk right into guy. I'm not changing. We're gonna do something silly then. God, now we're in like, give me Aaron Rye.
All right, I'm going to take Cantlay as my one and done. When we break down for the race for the Mayo Cup, and we break that down on Wednesday of like who's going to be most owned, I think we nailed it last week that it was going to be Rory and Rahm. They were 1 and 2. Didn't stop me. I used Rory and Rahm on my teams, so I dropped out of. I was inside the top 30 on my big team going into the week, and now I'm in 110th. But the team I took Rory on is also in the top 100 now. So now I have 2 teams that are kind of live. Well, one team is wildly out of it. So it's probably a better trade-off, although I'm down. I was winning like $7,000. Now I'm only winning like $2,000 in the race. But I feel like I now have 2 more options this late in the year that I can start firing again, that if one of the teams falls off, the other team can still tread water. That's always nice to have.
Do you think, because Pat, there are like a lot of people, obviously the golf content space is huge, but there was like a lot, and don't get me wrong, I say dumb things and then just for the sake of content, sometimes feel emboldened to like stand by it. But the amount of people who like with the straight face seem certain, I'm not talking about yesterday during troubles, but that Rory couldn't ever win the Masters. It's like very strange to me.
Hey, I sat here with a straight face and told you that Bryson would suck. Sometimes you're just wrong.
You say it might suck, but like I guess I don't. I feel like 2 very different things. You said like you predict him to suck. You know, like he could never win the Masters if he wins this tournament. Like I'd be surprised. Like a player of Rory's talent level and people in their like pre-Masters content talking like they'd actually be surprised if he wins. I don't know. I found that strange, but we're here. Like I make fun of Morikawa. I say things, nothing what I say, like obviously of course he can win. Like of course he can win.
Yeah.
This week.
Looking at I got the odds pulled up for Corrales right now. First glance I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's Keith Mitchell, Ben Griffin, Alex Smalley, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore as your favorites. Then it's like Thunder Bear, 4chan, Seamus Power, Ryan Fox. Chuck Hoffman at 35 is interesting. And so was Matt Wallace at 35.
What do you pay for a Rico Hoy these days? Like, what do the stores want from her for?
35 they want from Rico Hoey now.
Okay. And am I making up Grillo like teetering to show like that grill warms up, right? It's got to preheat, and then usually some good things happen post preheating. Like, tempted to say maybe there's a little preheating going on with Grillo. What are his odds?
Griot's 50 to 1. Yeah, he was 22nd at Valspar. He was 18th at Valero, 47th at Houston. He's just gaining a ton of strokes putting.
Which is crazy, and that's not sustainable.
Let's see, Corrales. Who plays? Scott Brown is probably... This is the one that Billy Ho won to like reignite his career last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Isn't this the one Hudson Swafford won that got him a live contract?
That I don't remember. I don't think so. I think he won something in the swing season, didn't he?
Maybe.
Yeah, Chuck Hoffman was 4th at this last year. Let's go. I'm betting Charlie Hoffman. Pendrith played in this tournament last year.
Pendrith played in this tournament last year. So who in this tournament is like not relegation, but like gonna be elevated in a less than a year's time?
Oh, I definitely got to bet Steven Fisk too. I've been betting that loser anyway. Might as well bet him here.
Sam Stevens here?
Sam Stevens got himself into Heritage, I believe.
Okay. You didn't mention your boys, Cootie.
Oh, Pearson Cootie. I think Parker Cootie might even be in the field this week. Carson Young's always a look at these events.
I don't know what do you need to do here, because
anything. It's anything. Like, it's a really long course. It can be wind affected, but we've just seen so many different types of players win this tournament over the years that I don't even know.
Okay, I'm loading up Matty Schmid here for a moment.
Like last year, it was Billy Ho. The year before that, Matt Wallace actually won it. Chad Ramey won the year before that. Joel Damon won, and I don't know who the hell won in 2021. I think Vic won in Puerto Rico to get his first win. But yeah,
so on like first instinct, like Matty Schmid, if I could load him up and see if my perceptions are where my perceptions are, And then I also want to take a peek at Messner, how he's been playing.
Mac
'Cause
Meisner.
like Meisner, because that seems like a pretty fair number.
I mean, Thorbjornsen's
55.
at 60 to 1. If you actually think that he's good, why not?
I don't know anymore. I'm not saying like it can't happen, but he is really it's just I don't know. Maddie's missing a lot of cuts.
Let's see. Bryce Garnett, Graham McDowell. You were right. Hudson Swafford won in 2020 here. It's a mixed bag. Like, it seems like any type of player can win here because it's basically a Corn Ferry event.
Danny Willett feeling healthy enough to go back to back, baby. Let's go.
Made the cut at the Masters.
Yeah, he was 5 over on Friday and fought. I'm scrolling deep here just to see some names. And Jeff Overton.
Okay. Wow. Was he 3,000 to 1?
Yeah, pretty close. 2 gloves. Eric Compton, Ricky Barnes.
Oh, Eric straight at a call. Ricky Barnes, first round leader. That's an auto bet.
It's really embarrassing that Kisner's priced with these guys, but Kisner's priced with Duffner.
You got Skies, buddy. Patrick Flavin. He's here. Crazy Carl Wan, 400 to 1.
There's a guy named Cougar Collins.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That fucks. That rules.
He's 3,500 to 1. Is he from Dominican Republic?
Maybe. The Cristobal de Soler, I remember everyone betting at the last
Oh, do you know where Cougar Collins is from?
No.
Canada.
No way.
He's a 25-year-old Canadian player from where the fuck is this place? Some place in Ontario. In the Peel region.
Okay, yeah,
that's close.
obviously.
I think that's close to Toronto. Your guy.
I think Russell Knox just lost in a playoff on Corn Ferry.
He did, yes.
Now we're just like talking memories. Meisner and should we be in on Toasty?
I was just looking at Toast. He's like, the guy's been pretty good.
Yeah, like I scrolled past all these names. I don't know. Ricky Castillo looked pretty sexy, so 40 to 1.
Like, didn't we just see Pot Geiter compete at any tournament where you can just go big driver? Like, do you just go back to him? He's 55. He's 50 to 1.
If Big Driver like can play here, then yeah, him or Cootie you should look out. You said everything can play here.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're the best at one thing, that gives you a pretty good advantage. I don't ever like taking the favorites in any event like this. Like, I just don't want to bet Alex Smalley at 19 to 1.
You mentioned obviously that Victor Puerto Rico win. I can't think of other wins. I'm sure like where guys part of the chalk won these subfields.
Yeah,
like the true chalk.
I bet you Victor.
There's a long time I bet Matt Wallace.
Was Victor even the chalk that week?
He would have been pretty close, I think.
I mean, there was a reason that he was playing in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but he was like Michael Thorbjornsen's like not even on Earth, and he's 50 to 1. Victor was actually like a player, like at least had some decent results.
Let's see.
He beat Wiley's boy that day. Oh my God, what's the Teeter?
So I'm looking at the wrong year. So Finau won in Puerto Rico in 2016. Dillette and Scott Brown and William McGirt were the favorites in that tournament. And Finau ended up winning. So I'm going to say 2018 then? Maybe that was Vic's win?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to bet Meisner. I'm going to bet Toasty. I don't even care. I don't even need to know anything. I just want to bet him.
I mean, that's what I did with Carl Phillips. The last time we had a subfield event, it's like, that guy sounds good. You guys all like him. I'll bet crazy Carl Phillips. He was a winner. Biggest one I've had.
And I saw Ricky Castillo like show life at like really hard courses. So maybe 40 to 1. But I haven't deep dived any of this. And like, look at me. You think I'm going to deep dive it? No thanks.
Yeah, it's the day after the Masters. We're into hour 3 of recording right now, so we should probably get out of here. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'll have the newsletter out, I'll have the finalized show and all the DraftKings plays and underdog plays with Tambo on Wednesday. That'll be live. You can check out Jeff at gfienberg17 on X and check out where all his content is going throughout the course of the week. We already got the research show. We already got the master show. Tomorrow, I'll have an NBA playoff preview show. So do all that fun stuff and get in that draw at coolbet.com right now. All the information down in the description. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!